Enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417, let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop, Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM. The man.
Thank you so much, everyone, for once again tuning in for The Real Issues with me, Shelton Daniel, your host and producer, alongside DJ Alton Jaquan Joseph as our technical operator, our second program for this week. Hope you're having a good Tuesday so far. It is the 27th of August, 2024. As you know, our program is weekdays from 12:30 until 2 p.m. on Real FM radio station, serving you on the dual frequencies of 91.3 for those of you in the north and 91.5 in the south. We're also on our sister station, all part of the McDowell Broadcasting Company, Corporation, Group of Media, Channel 120 on the Flow Cable TV service, that's NBC Television, and we are as well on Facebook Live. We are on YouTube, also streaming live. The telephone numbers that you can reach us on when I open the phone lines not too long from now will be for WhatsApp calling. Those of you like Bernard Haynes, like Peter the Great, like Maria Bonaparte, Jude Pokes Harlow, you know, those of you who are out in the diaspora and want to reach through WhatsApp calling, it's 487-9849. Don't forget that number. I know we've spent the better part of 2 years, you know, with 724, whatever it was. Scratch that, forget it, put it at the back of your mind, put it in your rearview mirror, let it fade away. It's 487-9849, And you can reach us on the regular landline number, which is 4533911. Now, Jaquan, I'm going to be sending you a short video clip. I should have sent it to you before. You probably have it already. But I want to send you this one, if you can get it and download it, because we'll be playing it, not right away. I know I've got to give you some time. I've hit the forward and it's showing that, is it showing that I sent it to you? No, not just yet. Just 1 second. Let me make sure that I sent it to myself. Would you believe that? Actually sent it to myself. Yeah. All right. Forward. Let me get that, Jaquan. All right. Jaquan. All right. Okay. It's showing that it's gone to you. Folks, let me say a couple short things before. And like I said, I'm going to open the phone lines. I don't have Terry Fenn along with me today. I don't have Miguel. I don't have anybody. So I want to make it a lot about you. There's some things in our country that may be big deals. They may be challenging things. They may be things that are not as easy as they look. But I'm going to continue to express my disappointment. And I'm not sure whether it's with the regular police or whether it is with the city police. But it's got to be with the police. I don't know whether it's litter wardens or whether it is whatever, but some kind of policing is to blame for this. You know, I've been on a continuous rant, maybe you might even call a verbal rampage, about littering, about the garbage that's being strewn all over the place. And sometimes I look and I think I see some improvement. I say think because at times it just doesn't seem so. At times in my little cooling off, you know, like I have told you, the AC in the vehicle is so welcome, and a lot of reading that I do and a lot of listening, and I look for quiet places, you know, so I can go and read and listen. When I'm not at the studio, I'm at home, and it's the fan that you have to keep on blowing. Sometimes when people call you, you must put it off, and I can tell you sometimes just having to put off a fan for even a couple minutes to take a call, it's irritating, it's stressful, because in the time, you know, and some people have this habit when they get you on the phone, they want to stay on and on and on and on. And you don't want to show them that you're irritated and you want to cut them off. Others have this habit of, they know I'm doing a program at 12:30. It's always 12:15 and so on. They want to call me and they message, and you do the courtesy of answering the phone in addition to trying to listen to the midday news, and they want to stay on the phone with you on and on and on and on and talk things. I pity people like the Prime Minister and others, you know, who, you know, especially you get that from your supporters, people who feel that because, you know, they supported you and they voted for you and they're cheering for you, that you're supposed to give them unlimited time. You know, they must be allowed to talk and talk and talk and talk. And it's a case of, you know, if you tell them, okay, you're busy, it's now, you know, they're always busy, they're always too busy. When it was campaign time, you know, and 5 years is not 50 years on campaign, you know, there's this kind of stupid people. And I say they're stupid. It's not the support you shunning, but please understand that the man you campaigned for and supported, he is now a minister or prime minister. He is busy. His phone is going non-stop in the night. He doesn't have time for himself, you know, this kind of thing. Give him a little. As a matter of fact, the mere fact that you're a supporter of his, you know, you should not put him. When I was in Antigua, there's a guy I used to tell him, man, you know, if you are in a position where a prime minister extends to you the hand of camaraderie, you know, and you his buddy, you of all people should be protective of him. You don't go throwing your weight around that, you know, the prime minister is my buddy, and we see, you know, before any little thing, you know, and it's like they use the prime minister as a kind of a weapon. I'll go straight to the prime minister. And, you know, and something some assistant secretary can deal with. They don't want to, even if the prime minister tells them, you know, let the PS deal with that. No, it's the prime minister they want to see. And these people, they become taxing, they become burdensome to the time of the minister. And the moment they don't have their way to always have first person to call the minister or the prime minister or the rep in the morning is them, and they speak and they go on as if, you know, the minister or prime minister has all the time in the world and must make all the time for them, because You swear, that the minister or rep or whatever don't have anybody else to deal with. Nobody else is important. Nobody else voted for them. And if you say to tell them, look, I can't talk now. Oh my goodness, I only say. They turn against that person. They back talking the person everywhere and blah. And I always maintain, if somebody is your buddy, if you really support somebody, if you really have their back, you should be making life easier for them. You should be looking out for them, not getting all thin-skinned and petty and petulant because, they pass and they raise a hand and they tell you not now or something like that for you to be taking it. Likewise to your behavior. Your behavior in terms of certain things is not because the Prime Minister is your friend and you feel you're a key supporter of his. If there is some function at Government House to which you were not invited, you don't hold any pass of. Don't go and show up there and try to push your way past the police and the security and everything and expect that they will lift and disregard and shove aside protocol for your sake, my friend. You of all people should not be doing that because your buddy, the Prime Minister, Minister, Governor General, whatever, you should not be putting them in an embarrassing position. But we have people like that. As far as they feel like campaign, and when it was me, they always have a story about how when they were having their meetings at my home, they used to have it. You go and see, they must have gone out and almost beg, for, you can use my home, offer this and that. But, you want to come and exact your own price, something in the parliament, you want to come and shove yourself in. And if the cops or whoever the security and special branch will tell you, no, sir, you're not on the list and you don't have a pass and so on, man, they get on and they behave bad. You of all people should not be, and then word will get to PM or the speaker or whoever is inside there, and you're putting them in an awkward position because yes, they know you as a buddy. Yes, they know you as a supporter, as a campaigner, but it's not everything that you're going to be invited to and you'll be, don't look anybody looking down on you. They have to have a certain finite list so that they can control things for the catering. They can control, the whole security aspects that are involved there. Some people are just so stupid and petty, and then you see them, they go on Facebook painting all kind of thing. Nowadays, they don't know you. Nowadays, everybody getting invitation to everything except me, except us. We are out for them, and on there. And I don't know why. I do not know why. The few times that I've had to call the Prime Minister, the few times, and I tell you few since I'm back, I could count them on one hand. If I call him and he answers the phone and very few times he will not answer me because he knows me. I think one thing I hope he can appreciate is the way I try to keep the communication short. Prime Minister, will you be attending this or addressing this or whatever, or so on and so forth, whatever, or can we get a comment from you, etc., And, before he himself finished, I'm already, okay, thank you very much, Prime Minister. I make it brief. Not for any reason, I'm not afraid of talk. I met the Prime Minister up at the Walk of Progress. He came, he saw me, he came over, he said, comrade, we shook hands, But immediately I don't try to hold him in a conversation and so on. Why? Because the Walk of Progress, they have too many people who want to come up to Prime Minister and cozy and for a hug and for a selfie and so on. I don't want to keep him because I know him and I'm the party supporter that I have to how we call that, power him for myself and keep him. Some people, they just like that and they just don't learn. And not just Prime Minister, whether it's Ernest Hilaire, whether it's anybody, make it short and quick. There are too many thousands of people who want to meet them. Don't hog it up, like you want to show like you're close to them and this kind of thing. This is insecure people who do that foolishness. I'm just a small-time, low-down-the-food-chain guy. I don't work for government. But just this show that I did, the amount of people I passed, Shelton, who want to come over and shake my hand and hug. And I say to myself, if I, Shelton Daniel, as somebody like to refer to me, this insulting person, I leave her there. Let her continue down that road. And we know where it will end. But like Terry Federer told me something, I'm a bottom feeder, yes. But if a bottom feeder like me, if a bottom feeder like me have so many people who are fans who want to come wherever I pass, who want to come and say hello, who want to come and say how I listen to your show every day, and I said to myself, can you imagine if you're Richard Frederick? We see it all the time. Can you imagine if you're Moses Jean-Baptiste, Alva Baptiste, Ernest Hilaire, Sean again, Edward, Kenson Kazime, the amount of people who press on you all the time for all kinds of reasons. So if you truly support them, try to make it as light as possible. Make yourself somebody who don't carry the insecurity and the inferiority that you must always be seen and be asserting and throwing your weight around as somebody who's close to the Prime Minister and want to keep him tied up in a conversation that could be concluded in 5 words and so on. You understand what I'm saying? And I don't know. But anyway, let's go back to the point I was making about the city police and so on. You see how quickly I veer off one thing into another? I test your patience, I know, but thank you so very much for it just the same. I mean, wherever I go and I pull up for a little cool out, and I keep saying our country is so beautiful. We don't need to go on any particular sightseeing. There is just a natural beauty, a natural mystic about the place. If we keep and tend to it as our own national Garden of Eden, if we stop assaulting it with this kind of contempt that we seem to have for it, I wonder what is wrong with us and the environment. How come some of us can just look and we just see something ain't looking right? It's just not right. About the garbage and the littering and the plastic bottles and the things we throw all over the place. How come? What is wrong with us? Wherever you go now, you see it as a little place. I go by, where was it? My latest little place I went to by Ganter's Bay, where they have, the cruise ships, the catamarans and so on for the boat rides and so on. I think that's what it's called down there, that side, towards the end of the airport runway there. And even because there's some nice big trees there, and when the wind blows through them, just the noise. I'm that kind of person, I don't need any big special staycation, anything. Just the music of the wind going through the foliage of the trees and so on. Just, and so on. I mean, it's just so beautiful. It's just so relaxing. But Lord of mercy, how can you enjoy it when you look there? Is a KFC box there? Is a plastic bottle there? Is a oh my goodness me. It's just so totally, it's just like a citoyen when you say this kind of thing. And it's like it's everywhere now. It's so universal. I used to like going to the parking lot of Caribbean cinemas there because it's a wide place. They hardly are able to ever, I don't know if there's ever time they can ever fool that parking lot. But my goodness me, you go there now and it's like people who buy, fast food from a nearby outlet. They just come and they just drop it there. And I wonder the people who own that parking lot, it's only a matter of time before they'll have to put restrictions, put cameras, show the people who dropping this, all over there like they don't care. Absolutely much. Just jete door. And then you come back to that same place again and you have to eat while you're watching this kind of thing and you're watching the rats, that is attracting. Yeah, you have to watch those rats and all of that, But coming to the city, what does it have to do with the city police? Obviously, there are people who are heeding the message and they are putting their waste, paper food boxes and the plastic cups and all, they're dropping it in the bins provided. And I could mention 3 of those bins, let's say 2 of them, 1 of them, and that is why I'm focusing on this too. They are so close to police outpost. By the Castries town hall. Isn't that where the city police is based? You will see the city police vehicle marked city police park there. The people who buy their chicken from Skinny and so on. And people are there all the time right until Skinny is very popular. I know a lot of the people, they have a certain discipline and respect about them. If they eat their chicken there, they will make sure they go and put it in that bin that is closest to the town hall. The other bin that concerns me is the one that is at the corner of Miku and Bourbon Streets by the Central Library, just opposite there. The reason why I'm picking out this one isn't the temporary relocation of police right across on the other side on Bridge Street there in, Lamar Building or whatever it is, that you'll find police there in the night. I normally go to those places like I've told you because they are close to points of safety. So I know if anybody try to come, people are always using the ATM. People are, the police are right there. They will see whatever, So I keep to those places if I am doing my little, my car office kind of thing and so on for the coolness of it and so on and etc. If I doze off, whatever, I've told you that before a couple of times. Cops come and they knock on, we saw your vehicle, there all the time, and we saw the light on, and I'll say, officer, that's just the way it is. Once the engine is running, I do that for the AC and so on. There's what you call the run light. It's going to stay on. And that's the reason that I'm here, that if anything, you all can check up on me. He says, okay, we're just saying maybe you could put the light off. I said, officer, the light doesn't go off at all once it's on. And I do it deliberately because I know I'm in the safest possible place. But police, how you all can be on that place there? And right behind your backs you just have to turn the corner there, that bin that is by the library. Almost every night, we know it is the zombie, we know it's the druggies, we know it's the crackheads and so on who come and overturn it so that they can rummage through it to look for scraps and so on. It's not a matter of what can you do about it. You have to stop them. You have to arrest some of them. It's not a matter of, arrest them and do what with them and they're going to do. No, you have to have the deterrent value. Something has to be done to be pressured to take them off the streets, at least in those hours, so that they don't go. People, we're taking this thing for a joke, This thing has serious implications for public health and public sanitation, and hence public safety. That you have people going and overturn, garbage bins, throwing it all over so they can, sift through it, whatever, to pick out the bones that people suck so they can suck on it themselves and all kind of things. And then the rats will have a field day. And maybe when rats pass on it, the others are going to come behind it and so on. You have to stop it. The citizens have done the right thing in depositing their waste in those receptacles. People come in there. This is too close in the case of the Town Hall City Police. This is too close in the case of the library. The Royal St. Lucia Police Force people who should be on patrol. When this thing happens a few times, don't tell me you cannot have somebody posted somewhere, on the square at the other end by what's the name of that place where rain used to be before, to be doing the proper lawful, necessary marking of what is happening there, to step up and to stop one of them, to arrest them, to lock them up, to use the opportunity to clean them up, and to make a case, that something needs to be done about them. At the end of the day, we do nothing about it. It becomes the public health disaster waiting to happen. Leptospirosis and all of that we can think about. And then you know what? Is the government, is Richard Frederick, is Geraldine Lindo Gabriel, is the Castle City Council, lawmen, law enforcers. You all have to do something. It's happening too often. It's happening all the time. Even on VG Beach, where I used to see it happening, they seem to have done something. You don't see it happening as much. This is going on for come on, people. This is not rocket science, man. This is not rocket science. You bust one or two of the zombies and so on, whatever, take them to night court or whatever it is and so on, slap them with a fine that they cannot pay. Yeah, but at the same time you do something, you have them, to help in the sweep up and the clean up and so on. You give them a little meal and so on. Arrange something, I don't know, a little night place where they can go and eat a little food that's not too expensive, even if it's a few floats so that the hunger don't kill them. Whatever it is. Whatever it is, it can't be so much problem for us to solve that thing. It's bad enough when we cuss off people for dropping their litter all over the place, but when they do, that you have people waiting to. Folks, we got to do something about that. Really, 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 really. It's too much. It's too much. We have the facilities. We have solid waste. We have the collections. We have the people who sweep the streets. Right after Sunday's walk of progress and so on, I saw people already there, the council workers and all starting right up, Sanssouci at the, start of the march. They were already sweeping and cleaning the drains and so on and all of that. I know the Castries market looked terrible with all the bottles and plastic bottles and so on, but I saw the effort on the way. But there's only so much they can do. If they sweep it already and people are putting their garbage in the bins already, only to find it it ain't dogs doing it. It ain't dogs jumping up and so on. It's human beings who are not good in their head or whatever it is, who go in and throwing it down. It can't be too difficult to bust a few of them. And word will spread around that the police watching for that. Oh, you all think we don't have other things doing? Oh, I don't have time for that, to be chasing after zombies, man. What can be more important than public health? What can be more important than public sanitation? What can be more life and death than the thing that has the possibility to contribute to plagues and epidemics and pandemics and so on, and all kind of things, the scary things we've heard of in the past and so on, of cholera and bubonic plague and this and that and the other and so on, that we can end up suffering in this country. We're hearing about monkeypox now. It ain't chicken pox now, it's monkeypox. It's a different pox and a small pox here, and COVID is still around, and so many things that can befall us. And when they befall us more and more, we're going to be on our own. The big developed world of the Americas and all of that, they don't have time for us anymore. They have their own problems. They have their own things to deal with and so on. We can't expect them to always be coming to our rescue. We are an independent country. We make our own decisions. We talk about our own self-determination. Self-determination means, as a people, that we have to make the decisions and we have to take the actions that are for our good in a sustainable way. And that thing cannot all be done for you by the government. It's not every policy that the government announces that will take effect. The policy needs to be given life and effect by the conduct of the people. The governing can give direction and so on, but the governed have to be the ones who apply it and so on for their own lives. We don't care about anything. And by the way, let me just say something. As much as I appreciate, or I should say I feel flattered, when I meet people who seem to believe I'm some authority and I have some line to the Prime Minister and whatever, and I can get answers from him wherever, I want. And it's not true. It's not true. I don't work for government. I work for a private enterprise called MBC. I don't work for government. I don't have any contract, anything with government, except once in a while. And I don't know if you can call that government, where I'm asked to serve as a temporary senator. I don't let it go to my head. I don't go around showing like I'm this important fella and so on. People like me, they say they admire me for the way I talk. They say they learn a lot from me. I'm all thankful for that. I don't let it go to my head. I don't. And I'll recount to you a little experience before we go for the break that I had this morning. And it is typical of many such experiences that I have. I'm going across to one of my favorite breakfast places. The cocoa tea that he makes is just absolutely superb. The conversation that he keeps is very intelligent. Very friendly, real, genuine person. I've mentioned his name, I won't anymore. But immediately, as I'm parking my vehicle on the other side of the road to walk across to my favorite breakfast place, there's a guy who positions himself like he's already waiting for me. He knows I'm coming towards him, Sheldon! Well, most of them, they don't care about my name is Shelton. Say Sheldon, you're tired of correcting it. Sheldon! What? And I'm hearing the word money, and getting money, 1,000, whatever. And I'm wondering, I can hardly hear him over the din. And that's another thing I have a problem with our people. This like to adulate somebody. This thing where you cannot seem to have a tete-a-tete. And I think there's a book, Henry, what's his name? The guy was once governor of St. Lucia back in colonial times or whatever, Henry H. Breen or something like that. About this thing about us. We'll see another one at the end of the street, and rather than try to engage him in a tete-a-tete, we'll shout to him at the top of our voice to the scandal of everyone around, something like that. St. Lucia, whatever statistical, historical, whatever perspective and so on. I kind of forget vaguely. But we need to develop, to become a little more cultured in that. Sheldon! So I keep walking towards him. And as I reach, he continues his thing, like it's not me he wants to talk to, He's on a soapbox. There are people around, because most of the people around, they would know me. I'm very frequent in that area. And so he wants to put on a show. He wants to put on some kind of theater that is putting Shelton on the spot, because Shelton is this labor, this government connected guy and so on. I said to him, first thing, let me tell you this. I think you know you can talk to me anytime, but you see this Ajili thing? I'm not in that. You want to talk to me? Talk to me. You know I'm coming towards you. You don't have to do this kind of Ajili, thing for me, that this shouting to me. He said, oh, I'm not Ajili in you. I just want to know why I'm Pip giving Kailash $1,000-something and so on. I know about the little clip it came out. If I can get it, I'll play it. It was out. The money was not given to Kailash for personal whatever, but for some representative capacity or whatever. Kailash, in any case, is a story of local enterprise, of a man who was, built up the Food of Seven, his ministry, where he gives you advice on herbal treatments and natural treatments, whatever. I don't really recall. I can't take everything into my head. I said to him, why don't you ask the Prime Minister himself? Oh, but I know. They always know something, Oh, but I know you talk to him all the time, and I know, I said, really? I talk to him all the time. I said, how you know that? I don't talk to him all the time. I talk to him very seldom. Ah, man, come on. You're a labor man, and you're a man. You know everything. I said, really? I know everything. And he continues. I'm close to him, but his voice is still up because his people. I said, no, I don't know everything. I said, I'm not even a castrist person, so to speak. I'm a bitation person. You, I'm sure, are a castrist man. The Prime Minister is a castrist man. And there's so many other people around him that you can contact if you need clarity. I said, you can ask Kailash too. I don't think he's that difficult to reach. And furthermore, your representative for Central Castries is a government minister. And is a government minister in the office of the Prime Minister. So as your representative, you don't understand something. Find a way to ask Honorable Richard Frederick or one of the many people who work with him, his attaché, DAX, whatever, and put the question to them and they will answer you. But don't assume that I just know those things. I said, sir, do you know that I don't work for government? I do not. I do no work whatsoever for government. I work for a private. He said, oh, I know you don't work for government. Right away, he starts to soften up. And I said, so there are many, many ways, if you had something about the 1,000 whatever they give to Kailash and the one question, that you could get the answers without trying to come to me, without trying to come through me, and without using that Ajili thing you said. Then he started again. Oh, another thing. I said, let me tell you something. I'm a very busy man. And I have a lot of things to do before I go on that program. I haven't had breakfast. I'm just going to have breakfast. You think you can give me a little chance? He said, okay. Enjoy your breakfast. And I went. And this is the kind of thing that we always prefer to try to put somebody on the spot and always trying to see if we can kick up something and stir up something and make what. You know why that bothers me? Because I see too much of that kind of attitude being reflected in none other than a man who should be helping St. Lucians to find answers. A man who should be using his position to get information for St. Lucians and to bring the truth to them if it is being withheld from them. But what I find is a man who's a rabble-rouser, who always trying to see if he can kick up mud and dirt and stir up filth and this kind of thing. And now he's in cahoots with a criminal foreigner. A foreigner who has the audacity to say he wants to sue St. Lucia and elements in St. Lucia for racketeering, but who is himself coming out openly to demand bribes from the proceeds of racketeering that he says. In other words, he's become a racketeer himself. I'll talk more about that a little later. But when I see that kind of behavior and I say, wow, is this the kind of behavior that Alan Shasney has fostered in St. Lucia, or is it that he's feeding off it because it's already there? He is always a labu. He's always a decapité. He's always a malpopté. He's always this kind of filthy thing that we want to kick up and stir up, pub disturbing kind of thing and so on that we're into, as opposed to trying to make ourselves more informed, as opposed to trying to make ourselves more enlightened. Let me tell you this. You see, when you all see me, I'm a friendly fella, but don't try to rope me into them kind of things. If I am somebody that you say you learn things from, I did not get there by always trying to, play in the latrine and stir it with a stick and try to make the smell come up and the flies and the roaches and this kind of thing. That ain't how I get there. I get there by trying to understand things, study things, research things, observe things, and come to a better understanding of things. This thing where there's always a lie day we're looking for and a row and making, this kind of stuff, it ain't me. Because if you really wanted to know about Kailash and so on, the manner in which you try to put me on the spot and to agile me from right across the street and so on and so when you know I'm walking towards you, you do this kind of thing to me, the best I can do for you is ignore you. And it's not because I'm any kind of contemptuous person. It's not because I'm any kind of, full of myself kind of person. But I don't deal in this kind of thing. And it's not a matter of ignorance, It's like many of us, we're not growing. And we're not growing because we don't want to grow. We want to remain stuck at there. The rural level, the Lide level, the my way. We like to go my way. Agora la vie nous ka vivre là. Ça c'est oui mettre là. Ça c'est tonique là pour nous toujours dans my way. Pas moi de boy ça. On lot moun, pas moi de boy ça. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Live streaming has become one of the best ways to connect the funeral of a loved one with friends and family, both local and international. NBC Television will live stream your funerals on television and Facebook at a reasonable rate. With our state-of-the-art equipment, you can be assured that the quality of your funeral will be to your satisfaction. Call our office now and book your obituary and streaming with us. 758-453-7458.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains and illnesses when there's help for you? At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild, the power to heal, the future of pain relief.
The country needed to be rescued from the abyss into which it was plunging. The majority of you accepted my offer to lead that rescue mission. The full rescue team also includes you, the people.
Over the past 3 years, the solution economy has been growing. The growth is being experienced across many sectors, with business confidence up and unemployment down.
This government always defends the interests of the people of St. Lucia.
The 2 years after COVID, and then I get the $1,500. It helped me a lot and it pushed me in front to open a little business. Now I can put food on my table right now.
When I heard about the MSME, I was like, boom, opportunity. I could make something actually happen, you know.
And young people must not suffer the frustration that they suffer when they go to other organizations.
Entrepreneurship is something that is needed in our country. We need people to take the leap and be entrepreneurs to help the economy grow.
He honored his promise, and I respect him, and I give him thanks. Philip J. Pierre, I thank you with all my heart and soul.
As Prime Minister, I promise to be Prime Minister not for some of the people, but for all the people.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM. The man.
The one for staying with the real issues. And with somebody who has the little clip of I think it was $1,000 given to Kailash as a representative of ICA, the Ayanola Council for the Advancement of Rastafari. Help me with this, please. At least Ras Iron, Aaron Alexander. Help me with this if you have the little clip. It's probably somewhere in the real issues WhatsApp, chat group thread, but, to find exactly where it is now might be a little, just maybe we can just play it. And if this was a genuine inquiry which was being made that the person can know if they hadn't yet known or be reminded that, I think it was to help ICA with celebrations of Marcus Garvey Day. It's a big thing for Rastas and so on, Marcus Garvey. I think that's what it was, Marcus Garvey Day, which was held very recently. Very recently. And I think a donation was made to ICA, maybe no more than $1,000 to help with the celebrations of Marcus Garvey Day. It was not a big deal. It was not money given to Kailash in his personal capacity. Can you imagine Kailash, needing $1,000 so badly, and if it had to be given to him, it would be given out of government money and a big splash made of it. I'm sure if that were the case, the Prime Minister would probably out of his own pocket, give or write a check for $1,000 and give it to Kailash, and there would be no, big hullabaloo, or nobody would know about it or anything. So, so I don't know what you were on about this morning, but that's all. That's as far as I can recall. $1,000 given to Kailash on behalf of ICA, Ayanola Council for the Advancement of Rastafari, to help with the celebrations of Marcus Garvey Day. And I think most of us know who Marcus Garvey was, his significance to the whole black African liberation movement and so on, etc., etc. All right. Anyway, somebody's just saying a correction, but that's neither here nor there. I'm not really going to go down. It was explained, it was known, it was said, and so on. So all the nitty-gritty, about it and so on, and splitting hairs, I don't think we need to even bother about that. People, there's a short video clip that I want to play. And the person who sent it to me is making the point. How you would come out swinging like that for Dr. Merle Clark and what was said about her, and putting out the warning that an attack against her is an attack against us all, and all about speaking about St. Lucia Medical and Dental Association. But at the same time, another doctor is taking ire and fire for political reasons. Dr. Janice Stanley is being attacked for no other reason than that she is the wife of former SLP government minister Ignatius Jean, who is the brother of Bertram Jean, who is the husband of Alison Jean, Senator Alison Jean. Is an attack on the Jean family. That is why, she finds herself being called all kinds of names, and a politician in the person of the former Prime Minister, the immediate past Prime Minister and leader of the opposition, is taking aim at her. Okay, you want to stand up for a doctor. Is not Dr. Janice Stanley a doctor as well? Isn't it so deserving of saying, look, this kind of political attacks on her? She's not somebody who's ever been in politics. She'll voice her opinion like so many other doctors, including Dr. Clark, will voice theirs and so on. She's been totally committed to her profession, to looking after people, especially those within her area of specialization, which is cardiology, problems of the heart and this kind of thing. Yet she finds herself taking fire people, even going on media people and so on. Yes, it's their personal Facebook, whatever, and so on, to call her a cancer. Isn't Dr. Stanley supposed to be the very antithesis of cancer? As somebody who I'm sure would play her part in helping to treat it or its effects, especially and including upon the heart, upon the cardiovascular system and so on, to see if she can lengthen the lives of people. I mean, we cannot in this country show ourselves to be anything but even-handed and thorough if we want to be considered to be professional people. Professionally stead and stolid people. Professionally balanced people. To have professional equity and equanimity about us. In the manner in which we deal with things like that and say, look, this is uncalled for to be targeting any kind of doctor because of suspicion of where they stand. It can't be one side. It's okay to be attacking people because of who their father is, as in the case of the Prime Minister's daughter. It can't be okay. But if something is said about somebody remotely connected, then oh my goodness me, the sky has fallen. It can't be right. It can't be right that you're having things about McClaudy Manuel and the CIP. Okay, that is a public capacity. He's head of a public statutory body, whatever we want to call it and so on. Okay. But then you're going after the young man because of his personal investments and how we have building. The fact that he has acquired property or whatever, we don't know what his loans and mortgages are at the bank. But even if, does that mean that any wealth or any property or any assets he has, we should be talking about it in a manner to plant in people's mind the idea that it has been gained, that it has been gained through corruption and so on, and that it is the corrupt proceeds of kickbacks and so on? I have to talk about that a while, because a man can't be coming, monsieur, and wanting to file a civil lawsuit under the American law called the RICO Act, which stands for Racketeering Influence, Corrupt Organization. Corruption and crime in an organization that is caused or influenced by racketeering. I don't know how you can go and claim for losses under RICO when the people and the organizations you're suing have never been declared to be RICO organizations. You are, in the case of St. Lucia, pressed to show what loss you suffered from them when you never did any business with them. You claim to have evidence, but part of the evidence you're presenting is your lawyers demanding on your behalf a bribe and making it clear that we don't want that bribe paid out of the normal coffers of the country. We want it paid from the corrupt kickbacks and fraud from certain people. In other words, they're involved in a racket. They're making money from that racket. Well, I want some of the money that they're making from the racket. So basically you say that you want to benefit from the proceeds of crime, and then you'll drop whatever accusations you have against them. You know, does it get any more corrupt than that? You're accusing people of corruption. You're taking them to court for corruption because you suffered loss from the corruption. You're making it clear you want them to compensate you for the loss, but you're also making it clear that the compensation you want it to come from the corrupt money, the criminal money, the laundered money, the racketed money, and so on. That's what you want it from. I mean, how much more scumbag does it dead on this? But that's not exactly where I want to. I'm going ahead of myself a little now. Let's play that little video clip, Jaquan, of what has been said, and this is what the individual who sent it to me added a little note to it for me, and I just felt that this little note is so on point, you know, so on point. We will not be dragged into their mudslinging, but will defend our good name with vigor and valor. And the little note to it says, stop the hypocrisy. Yes, stop the hypocrisy. It can't be over so many days you want to defend the honor of one doctor while you're attacking the other. So we're going to play that.
They're burnt out. And how do I know that that's true? Because of the letter that was written by the St. Lucia Medical and Dental Association. She wrote that letter speaking not about her or her family, wrote a letter about us. They want to show a picture of her jumping carnival as if to suggest that speaks to her integrity. Are we going to allow the doctors of St. Lucia's word and their warning to us to go in silence? We're going to allow ourselves to be politicized by what is happening in St. Lucia to the extent it's to our detriment. The person who was causing the problem before the elections, who was leading the march to say what we were doing to bring healthcare insurance was wrong, who was leading the march that we tried to professionalize OKEU, who was leading the march to prevent what we were doing at St. Jude's, and I speak of Dr. Stanley, is a single hurricane taking place in our healthcare, and nobody wants to call her name. I call her name out today. Dr. Stanley, for the sake of all of St. Lucians, do the honorable thing, resign. This lady is about her and doing it her way. She must go. They're burnt out. And how do I know that that's true? Because of the letter that was written by the St. Lucia Medical and Dental Association. She wrote that letter speaking not about her or her family, wrote a letter about us. They want to show a picture of her jumping carnival as if to suggest that speaks to her integrity. Are we going to allow the doctors of St. Lucia's word and their warning to us to go in silence? We're going to allow ourselves to be politicized by what is happening in St. Lucia to the extent it's to our detriment. The person who was causing the problem before the elections, who was leading the march to say what we were doing to bring healthcare insurance was wrong, who was leading the march that we tried to professionalize OKEU, who was leading the march to prevent what we were doing at St. Jude's, and I speak of Dr. Stanley, is a single hurricane taking place in our healthcare, and nobody wants to call her name. I call her name out today. Dr. Stanley, for the sake of all of St. Lucians, do the honorable thing, resign. This lady is about her and doing it her way. She must go. They're burnt out.
Okay, so you heard this? Dr. Stanley is a hurricane. Alan Sassner is calling her out because nobody wants to call her out. And you can almost see the timing of those things, the coincidence. When a member of the media around that same time describes Dr. Stanley as a cancer. I cannot see myself describing Dr. Merle Clark as a cancer. I may not agree with something that she's saying, but to go after her that kind of way, even if she were being political. It's a lady's right to have a political ideas and a political feelings. Nobody can deny anybody that, not even a professional, not even a doctor in this country. This thing where we want to tell people where their support and their sympathy must lie. However, if the person is making certain statements and you believe that, they reflect some little wobble of the facts and so on, then you can raise questions about it. But not to just categorize and lump people and so on because of whatever it is and so on their politics is. Dr. Ulrich Mondesi in his peak of his being a candidate for UWP and all of that, I never distrusted to go to him and to, as my doctor and so on. And I had never any reason to believe that because he knew where I stood. I knew where he stood. I never had the shred of doubt about his professionalism and his integrity and his ethics, or to have any fear that I formate this, I prescribe. Never whatsoever. I respected him, and even though I have not seen or spoken to him, but I remember those days, I have always held this man in high regard as a professional and as a human being, demonstrating the kind of empathy that a doctor must have and so on. I've never had any fear, and no, he's not the only one. If ever there's a doctor I'm reluctant to go to, I am going to go to a doctor because a Labour Party doctor, if I have doubts about, certain things about them, the robustness of their practice and so on. Never bother about those kinds of things. In the lowest point of my relationship with Marius Wilson, you all know about the whole thing that went on when I was at Radio St. Lucia, when I reported about the lawyer politician who was raising his gun here, there, and everywhere about people. I never stopped going to Dr. Siles Wilson as my doctor. And I was never afraid that he would do anything to me because, I was at loggerheads with his brother. Never! I had confidence in him as a doctor, as a professional. Never any fear that me say I fear more bagay pull up fear or anything so. And you never get me bad mouthing him for anything because of politics or because of who his brother was. This is a confidence that I have. Confidence above all in God that he will preserve and protect me even against the most carefully laid plans of men, as long as I walk and practice righteously. That he's not going to let me fall into traps. And if he does it for a higher purpose, a better purpose, even a purpose that involves me losing my life. I go out there and somebody take me out, is because God wanted it to happen. And if he wanted it to happen, it is for good, beyond even what I can ever see, beyond even my life. So for people now to think that they can come and make a case, Dr. Clark is being attacked, but at the same time you can go after Dr. Stanley. For no other reason. You can talk all your foolishness you want. Dr. Stanley is being attacked because she is the wife of Mr. Ignatius Jean. Because she is the sister-in-law of Mr. Bertram Jean, the husband of Senator Alison Jean. It's the Jean family you want to go after. That's what you're doing. The same way you want to go after Philip J. Pierre's relative and McLeod Emmanuel, because you all want to attack the CIP. And talking about the CIP, it's my understanding that there are people inside the CIP that they have intimidated and threatened and told all kinds of things about, their visa and their assets will be frozen and they will lose their US visa. And some of them apparently are trembling. Let me tell you something. Minister Healy, Board, Mr. McLeod Emmanuel, Mr. whoever is within the CIP who have allowed themselves to become intimidated, if what I am hearing is true, if they want to go, let them go. If they want to resign, let them resign. Don't try to flatter anybody or whatever and to, you know something about people? When you see their minds have become poisoned, that they believe or they have been led to believe that there is something crooked or something corrupt and so on, the more you try to flatter and to kiss them up, the more they believe that something is off because you're trying to flatter them too much. Sometimes even somebody you love, when they reach the point where they want to go, let them go. Because the more you try to kiss and cry and beg them, oh please, baby, stay and so on, the more they see it as a sign of weakness. They want to go, let them go. As a matter of fact, we should encourage them to go, because by staying inside there, since they have become so intimidated, you never know what compromises they might be making, what information they might be giving, because somebody has convinced them that the house is about to fall down, that everything is going to cave in. If they have reached to certain people and gotten through to them in a manner where they feel intimidated, where I understand certain people associated with the CIP wanted the minister and the board and whoever to cancel Galaxy and say, okay, let's cancel. How come Alan Chester didn't cancel Galaxy? How come the UWP didn't cancel the Galaxy contract and say Galaxy is too much headache? Let's forget about that. Let's throw them on the side. How come they came out and said Galaxy is solid? They did all their due diligence and they're okay and they're good and so on. Whoever has allowed them to get to them, who cannot be assured by the integrity of their minister, which up to now they can't show anything. All they're doing is making noises of bluff charges. Bluff charges is what they're doing. We have evidence, we have evidence. And when we let it go, I'm not sure, some people letting that cause them to shake. How come they didn't cancel the Galaxy contract? How come they did not let Galaxy go? And if St. Lucia's so corrupt, how come Henley and Partners, which from everything we know, is no particular friend of the present government and the Labour Party and so on, that they are ranking St. Lucia's CIP as the third best in the world? The third best. How did it attain that ranking under this Labour Party government if it's so corrupt? How come up to now all the noises about correspondent banking relationships, they only coming from Alan Chastney? He the one who trying to make it happen. Because he don't care, he just want to see if he can cause things to fall apart under the Labour government. Even if when he comes back, if he comes back, God forbid, he won't. He want to come back and he'll go back and negotiate and plead and go on his knees and all, so that he will say, Philip JPM messed up everything and he had to fix it up. But in the meantime, the amount of suffering and problems that he'll cause, he don't care. I have to talk a bit more about that, When people jealous of what is supposed to be their very own. Just today, I'm reading an article about how Mariah Carey, what's her name? How you pronounce it again? Mariah Carey, okay? Oh my goodness, man. Just go along with my way. But the singer, saying how her own mother was jealous of her. When you see your very own, or what is supposed to be your very own, gets jealous of you and are trying to destroy you because they want to be in a position of ascendancy and power over you and so on, my friend, you got to be very careful about this, You got to be careful. But I'll repeat, if the little whisperings I'm hearing here and there about inside the CIU unit, how some people, they have called them and they have intimidated them and made them fearful and all this kind of thing. If they want to resign, don't chase them, don't fire them, but let them go. In fact, encourage them to resign. Give them their separation packages. For the simple reason that if they're so scaredy cat, if they're so afraid, if they're so trembling, they can become a big liability to you inside there. They've been intimidated means they've been compromised. Because there is nothing they can point to in law to say that there is anything illegal that has been done by the CIE unit. It is the bluster of Martinez and all the evidence he has and evidence. You have so much evidence, but you want them to pay you some money out of what you say is the corrupt earnings and so on. So we have to watch out for hypocrisy. And they're attacking on all fronts now, everywhere they can come to see if they can take down somebody and create a bomb. You know all the bombshell they want? They're trying to see if they can create an explosion of scandal. That's the only thing they have, not the performance of the government, Fishing and aiming at, there is something that they're doing. There is some corrupt thing that they're covering up. And they're lying to you. They can't tell you what it is, but you say it enough and you point to all different things where it is happening. Especially now you see that CIP money, what it's going to do for healthcare. The little toilet and pit latrine that you're trying to stir up, of some kind of conflict and confrontation between government and medical and dental association. You see CIP money has come there to the rescue. It's going to plug the holes. It's going to solve the problem. So you're going to get any traction or momentum in trying to play the doctors and nurses against the government and this kind of thing. CIP to the rescue. Sakabilo. You have to find other things. Don't worry if all this. I have evidence. And when you see I drop it, a lot of people are going to have some very sleepless night. And they're going to think a criminal like you. A racketeer like you. And somebody tell Martinez, come and sue me because I said he should not be suing anybody for racketeering because he is showing himself to be a racketeer. Trying to get money out of the proceeds of the very crime that he's prosecuting against. Where are we now, Jaquan? Is it truly 1:35? Time flies. Time flies. Let's take a break. We'll be back shortly.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi bus stop opposite the Grosile bus stop. Prio's Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Yes, the best a man can get.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM. The man.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with the real issues on this Tuesday. It is the 27th of August, 2024. And I've just received a statement from the chairman of the National Utilities Regulatory Commission, which we commonly refer to by its acronym NERC, NERC. And it's a statement on the resignation of the NERC CEO, Chief Executive Officer. It's very short. It says, Mrs. Alison Jean, the former Chief Executive Officer, CEO of the National Utilities Regulatory Commission, NERC, has resigned from the organization effective August 6, 2024, citing personal reasons. The Board of Commissioners has appointed Mrs. Skeeter Gibbs as acting CEO to provide stability and leadership while a permanent replacement is sought. During her tenure, Mrs. Jean served the NERC well, establishing a solid foundation on which we will continue to build. The commissioners and staff of the NERC thank Mrs. Jean for her invaluable contribution to the organization and wish her well in her future endeavors. Yours sincerely, Lawrence Nouvet, Chairman. There is a second statement which is headed further clarification. And I think it's also from the chairman of NERC, Mr. Lawrence Nouvet. And here's what it says. I think this one is particularly interesting. It's dated August 26, 2024, dated yesterday. And it says, further statement on resignation of NERC CEO, Mrs. Alison Jean. Consequent upon totally unfounded rumors circulating on social media and elsewhere that attempt to tarnish the reputation of the NERC and its former CEO, Mrs. Alison Jean, the NERC Board of Commissioners states categorically, Mrs. Jean never received from the board, neither did she ever pay herself, any unauthorized increases to her monthly salary. The NERC is audited annually. The audited report is sent to the relevant responsible ministry, where it is subsequently transmitted to Parliament for tabling. At no point did the auditors intimate even a hint of fraud regarding the NERC. Mrs. Jean was employed by the Commission through a transparent recruitment process where a number of applicants were interviewed. The recruitment process was strictly in accordance with NERC Act No. 3, Section 13 of 2016 and Human Resource Procedures. Mrs. Jean served the NERC extremely well, navigating a period of high cost and low revenues while building a formidable team of professionals who continue to drive the organization forward. The NERC Board of Commissioners and staff therefore reiterate our thanks to Mrs. Jean for her invaluable contribution to the NERC and wish her well in her future endeavors. Yours sincerely, Lawrence Nouvet, Chairman. And unless this is a different Lawrence Nouvet than the one that I have known for many, many years, known his father very well, ex-policeman Mr. Cornelius Nouvet. The Lawrence that I know, I think he's a Seventh-day Adventist. Very, very committed man to his faith, to his church. And although his words are few beyond the hello, how are you, and so on, not a long conversation, man, I never got a hint of any kind of political interest or sympathy. You know, some people, because they know you, Shelton Daniel, and you know your labor, and they'll engage you in a conversation that right away you'll know this is comrade, you know, the kind of thing. He never did and never seemed interested in engaging me on that level. There was always that civility and that friendliness which I always interpreted as being born of his Christian faith. I can't tell you anything else about the guy. You know, one of those people, you just know them to be people who have an appearance and a demeanor of uprightness about them. There's nothing more you can say about him. I can't even tell you Florence Dove is a married man. You know, I can't even tell you. He just seems to be a man about his business. You know, I know he was always someone who, he and his father seem to be very close and so on. And I think he has a brother or sister. I don't know the other members of the family, but a guy who just cut a figure of uprightness about you. And if there was anything untoward taking place within NERC that he knew about and he could not change, anything that had any crookedness that would reflect on him, that would make the NERC look bad, and he would try to get it corrected and he would not be getting the cooperation or the free hand to correct it. To me, I see him as the kind of guy who would hightail it out of there very quickly, cut loose very quickly. That's the kind of person I see him to be. But again, I don't want to pretend like I know him, because, you know, you get the feeling that this is a man who is very friendly, very nice, very polite, but there's a guardedness about him. You know, he keeps a little bit of, not aloofness, you know, but a certain distance and so on that, you know, you can't really cross in terms of your familiarity and so on with him. And so, I don't know, but totally friendly guy. But like, he knows his boundary and he knows his limit, and he keeps it with just about everybody and with his own self. That's all I can say about him. It's the same way I could tell you about McLeod Emmanuel. Friendly fellow, but you get this thing about him that there's certain limits McLeod will not go, and which he will not allow himself to be pushed, and he's concerned about his future, his reputation, his integrity, you know, this kind of thing. That's why I say McLeod is too young a man to have cultivated those things by himself out of just sheer experience, bitter or whatever. It had to be a young man who was well brought up. Is the way his mother and whoever else raised him and so on. You know, you sense that there's a certain straightness about this guy, you know, that this crookedness of even playing around and being in any way, you know, any lack of fidelity even to $1, that McLeod will not get involved in that. And sometimes I still wonder why, you know, if we find ourselves in the company of a chap who has a bar up at Monday, I'm always promising to visit and I don't go. Compton. Why Compton calls McLeod old school, you know? And I wonder if it's because he's the old school type of fellow, you know? Young man, but he has this old school mentality about integrity and reputation and this kind of thing, you know? I call him old school because I hear Compton call. I cannot tell you where the old school come from, but I can tell you when it comes to old style, respect and integrity, he's just cut out of that. And he ain't deviating one bit in that regard. Young man, this thing about, you know, I just want to be successful and give the image of success and being rich, that's just not him. He believes it through hard work, through smart thing, putting his education to work for smart business practice and investing, and I suppose associating with the right people that he can learn from and so on. Alison is gone now. All this talk about she paid herself a salary, she gave herself a salary increase. You know, there's that thing circulating. You know, she gave herself a salary increase of 3,000. She raised her own salary without any board thing, and that is why she had to go. And the board told her she had to go and this sort of thing. And we heard Alison Jean right here telling us how she got into NERC. She got into there while UWP was in office. And her contract since then was renewed 3 times. You know, 3 times. I think twice on the Flabo, and once after Labour took over or something like that. What she said, that the contract renewals were for the most part while Flabo was in office. Then they tried to spin it. Oh, it's Stephenson King who did it without the approval of cabinet. All this kind of thing they have going on, you know. All this kind of thing they have going on. It's like the people are just out to get people, and, you know, it's a desperation kind of move. Once people see through your desperation, it ain't going to come through. Now, I know I should have opened the phone lines already, so always so much things to say, So let's open the phone lines, Jaquan. Anybody who wants to call? The WhatsApp line is 487-9849. And the landline is 4533-911. We are taking your calls from now until 2 o'clock. We're not going a minute past 2, okay? We're sticking to time. No extra time, no overtime, no extended time. Today, 2 o'clock. So if you want to call and talk, you're welcome to do so. 487-9849. We're getting our first call already. Caller, this is The Real Issues, and you on the air. Go ahead.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Shelton.
Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, hearing you see on the program. I just called to give you Mr. Milan's number from Sweden.
Okay.
I remember last week you called, you say you lost the number, so I spoke to him, and I told him that you mentioned him on the radio and stuff like that, and he told me, well, be free to give you the number, so the only way I could reach you is through the airwaves.
Okay. All right. I'm so glad to hear that.
You ready?
Yeah, give me 1 second. Give me one second, okay?
All right, no problem.
Please. Nice guy, Milan.
Yeah, man. Mr. Milan is one of the best.
Yes, man. Yeah, apparently the number that I had for him, it got reassigned to somebody.
Okay.
All right, my friend, talk to me now. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, 723.
9154. Okay, I have 1954. So it's I who had it wrong, okay?
Yes, it's 9154.
9154.
All right, big man.
Okay, buddy. Okay.
All right. You have a wonderful day, man.
Okay, if you see Milan again before I call him, give him a good hail up for me.
I'll do that for you. I see him every day. So
Yes,
I see him every
man.
day.
Milan Dugaya, man.
Yes, I.
Take care, my brothers,
All right,
okay?
big man.
Yeah,
Rest
okay.
up.
All right, okay. Brings a smile to my face, whenever I hear of these very nice people, Yeah, good friends that we've met along the way. Yeah, and he was one of them and still is. Nice to see him in good health and so on. One of those people who don't have to go and study business or anything like that. They just know how to be nice to people and have to treat people in a way that Milan is a guy, I don't know anything about his politics, who he support, if his yellow shirt he have. Yeah, if I were to see Milan with a yellow shirt now, I wouldn't even notice it. The guy is such a nice guy. I don't care. He might be the most diehard flubbo. Love this guy, like him, don't see him for 30 years, see him and it's like, oh my goodness me. We had never stopped seeing each other and so on. Such a fine guy when it comes to hospitality and service and so on. Yeah, we have another call on the line. Hello.
Yes, good afternoon. How do you do, sir?
I'm doing okay. How about you? Yeah, go ahead. We have another call coming already.
I'm not in good terms with you,
Why?
Why are you bashing Alan? Do you blame Alan for tagging with Martinez?
Of course, Alan. Martinez is a creation of Alan.
You for what I said so from the get-go?
Well, sometimes we have to take things in stages.
Come on, man, you're a bright guy. You don't tell me it took you that long to know that it was a tag team going on in there.
I have certain responsibilities as a public broadcaster, and one of them is that I must learn not to jump the gun.
Okay, all right. Well, let me jump the gun because I ain't care to rattle about nothing. Let me say something to you. I don't blame Alan for tagging in Martinez. Guy Joseph is no longer there to siphon the treasury, so he has to get somebody else to do the job. That's it. That's all. Goodbye. Have a good day.
Thank you very much. I think we have another call on the line. Hi. Good afternoon. Real Issues. Hello. Hi, caller. Are you there? All right. Okay. 487-9849. That's the WhatsApp call number. And you can also reach us on 4533-911. Many of you would have heard me come here when I'm commenting on international affairs. And you heard me really going heavy in my criticism of Russia and Vladimir Putin and what they're doing to Ukraine. And it's around the same theme of jealousy. I think we lost that call just now, right? Yes. I am of the view that Russia is jealous of Ukraine. Why? Because Russia, for its size, Russia for its resources, Russia for its capacity. Russia is an underachieving nation. It has not made use of its capabilities and its potential and so on to develop itself and better the lives of its citizens to the extent that it could have and should have to become the world's #1 country. You know, America should be a dwarf when it comes to Russia in terms of economy and all those things. Should be. But I'll come back to that in a while. Hi, caller. Real Issues. You're on the air.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Daniel.
Hi, good afternoon. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. I heard Alan Chasney said that he was attempting to professionalize the health system and that Dr. Stanley was leading the charge against him. But the word he should have used was he was attempting to privatize the health system. And a lot of our medical personnel was leaving the country and going overseas and work because of the 6 months contract that he was given to them. So this man is so desperate that if he cannot rule us, he would attempt to destroy our country. And some of our young journalists needs a lot to be desired, because if a man come in a press conference and make a statement against the CIP that he cannot prove, that would not make my news. It just will not make my news, because no country has ever said anything concerning our CIP, nowhere in Europe, neither the United States. The government of St. Lucia is not a defendant in that case. So that so-called crisis is just a figmentation of the evil intent of Alan Chasney to destroy our country. But we will not allow that to happen. And he saw that Sunday past there, a strong message was sent unto him. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you very much for that. Yeah, we can squeeze in a few more calls before 2 o'clock comes around. 487-9849. You can WhatsApp call us on this one, and 4533-911. We have another call on the line.
Shelton.
Hey, hi, good afternoon.
How you doing?
Sometimes better, sometimes not so good.
Shelton, listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that feeling, because there are days when I feel the same way. But I just want to let you know that Milan is listening to you right this minute. And he has not seen you for that long, and he can't wait for you to drop by.
Who's that?
Okay. Milan.
Oh.
He's listening to you right this minute.
You saw him?
No. I spoke to him and he asked me to give you his number.
Okay.
But I told him somebody just give you the number.
Okay.
Shelton, we need to ensure that we look at the two characters, put them side by side, one next to the other, and see with whom we have progressed in short time, and see who has our best interests at heart, and see who would rather see us at the pits of destruction. See what they're going to do to get us down. Shelton, when you want to go after somebody and you cannot do it directly, you will jump hurdles and hoops to attack that person's character, malign somebody. Come on, a former prime minister refers to a medical practitioner in that way?
Mm-hmm.
My goodness, the lady is not on any board, you know. She is on no board, made no public statement in no regard. And you, a former prime minister, a leader of opposition. Let me tell you, when Mr. Pierre was leader of opposition in this country, Mr. Pierre would caution a lot of people on a lot of things, and even as Prime Minister of this country, he continues to caution people on a lot of things, especially his supporters. In fact, whether you are a supporter or not, he still cautions you, okay, to not attack people personally. All right? And I think it's really declassy. It shows the mettle of the man that wants to lead us again. It shows that the money that we thought he had, the money he needs us to make more of, he still needs us, the black people, the people he don't like, to get into power. He only wants to rule over us. Shelton. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, let's cut the calls now, Jaquan, because we have a minute to go. You know, I was telling you that it's my personal feeling. It's not, I'm not trying to... Russia is jealous of Ukraine because Russia does not like to see any of the smaller countries that were once part of its ambit and orbit and influence, that it ruled and that it dominated, that were like, you know, basically its little bolums and its little brothers that it led by the hand wherever it went to. And Russia seems to only feel good about itself when it can roll on and dominate and dictate what happens in those smaller former Soviet, states and so on, to determine which government that gets elected there and that's, that meets its approval and so on. Russia does not want to see Ukraine go and be part of the European Union and succeed and become the modern economic powerhouse that's already shown itself to be, and which Russia itself has never been able to, because they never want to stick with the challenge of long-term reforms and so on. They abandon reforms and they resort back to the reflex of totalitarianism and authoritarianism and so on before elections and all this kind of thing. Like, Russia does not want to do the heavy lifting and go in for the long haul with those things. That's my feeling with them. And so it's like, Ukraine, we will smash you, but you are going to join no kind of EU and NATO and this kind of thing, and next thing you know, you outshine us and show us up to be failures and losers and this kind of thing. That's my view of it. The same way with Alan Chastanet. Alan Chastanet don't want to see a St. Lucia that without him shows prosperity and development and progress and so on, especially under a man who he probably would have considered as inferior because of his color and that sort of thing. To see St. Lucia progress under Philip J. Pierre, who in 3 years has accomplished what Alan Chastanet could not in 5 years, and Philip J. Pierre has in 3 years done what most governments take 10 years or more to do, and yet he's not even at a full term yet as Prime Minister. And so Chastanet vindictively, like Vladimir Putin, is trying to destroy St. Lucia so that the name of Philip J. Pierre does not get celebrated, does not get acclaimed, does not get big up. He will monkey wrench the whole country with loss of correspondent banking and whatever he can do, loss of visa-free access, because Alan Chastanet feels put in the shade. Alan Chastanet feels like he is being blanked and blacked out, and his ego will not allow him to sit by, because Alan Chastanet, one of his biggest faults is that the guy wants to show he's smarter than everybody else. He's the sharpest knife in the drawer. And to see Philip J. Pierre making the things he could not even conceive of, seem like a walk in the park, easy like Sunday morning. Chastanet knows there's no chance for him, whether in success or relevance in making a comeback. And so he is trying to destroy Philip J. Pierre's St. Lucia. That is Shelton Daniel's opinion. It doesn't have to be correct, but it's mine just the same. And that's the real issues for today. Thank you so much, everyone. Goodbye.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back.
Pick 2, 3, 9. Pick 2 multi-X, 5X. 1 off. 0, 2, 1. Lucky 3, 4, 2, 1. Lucky 3 multi-X, 2X.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts.